Hey there, friends, it's Nick. This is StoryHacker.tv. I'm just going to talk a little bit about a formative experience I had in my youth. And this came up because I was chatting to a friend on the phone, Phil Argent, this morning. And he was talking about we were talking about the way in which we create content. And he's doing a similar thing, but he is quite ad hoc. Enlightened ad hocness, I would say, because the thing that is foremost in his mind, he will talk about and think about and put on YouTube. Whereas I've got a list, and you can see that in the way that the channel's built out over the last sort of 14 days or so. There's almost 40 videos, and a lot of it's quite kind of structured, and that's because I think in a quite structured way. And he says I'm just not as organised as you, I think is what he said. And I told him about this thing that happened to me when I was 20. I was at university. I was studying media, and I managed to get work experience, 3 months work experience on the Seychelles, in the Seychelles. I know. Yes, I was one lucky bunny. And I went with two other people. And one of the guys I went with, Graham, was 10 years older than me. He was a mature student. And it didn't take us long. We were sharing a room. It didn't take us long for me to realise that he was the tidiest person I'd ever met. And I was the opposite of that. And he mentioned it, once or twice. And I said something like, I'm just not as tidy. I'm not naturally tidy like you are. And he said something that stuck with me ever since, obviously. And he said, I'm not naturally tidy, but I am naturally lazy. And I realised that it's easier if I know where my stuff is. And I thought, wow, I'm going to have to think about that, because I'm not naturally tidy, but I definitely am naturally lazy. And it turns out human beings are naturally lazy. I mean, evolutionary wise, it made sense to conserve resources, so we do. And that's one of the reasons why storytelling works so well, isn't it? Because it's much easier to hear about something and get the learning from a story than it is to go do it. For example, you don't have to trek all the way to the Seychelles and spend 3 months living in a house across the road from the beach. You don't have to do that. I've saved you that trouble. You're welcome. But it's still, that lesson has stuck with me. And although I am in many ways naturally untidy, I have sometimes harnessed my even more natural laziness to organise myself and make it easier to get things done. So, for example, I'm recording this on a Friday. On Monday, my idea is to film 10 videos, 2 for each of the days next week, and to do that, it's easier if you need a list. You have a list. I have a list, and every time I think of something that I think is valuable, would be valuable to you, to people telling stories, building brands, building businesses, profiles, all that kind of thing, I put it in a list. And that is just a lazy way of thinking about content. There you are. That's it for Friday. Thanks for watching. And actually, do you know what? You're probably going to see this on Saturday, aren't you? Anyway, goodbye from me and my hat.